What about how that Russian girl Lena got fired from the network for making racist Facebook comments 10 years before even going on the show, yet Angela Deem isn't fired for physically assaulting her husband Michael on the show? Michael's your husband, Angela. You took vows before God, family, and friends to love and cherish this man forever. Is this how you show love? By physically assaulting him? By cheating on him with the dude in Canada? By offering to financially support him and then digivolve that into financial domination later in the years? This begs the question, why? Is it because she's American? Something that she constantly reminds us of?
Are you done talking?
No, I'm not. Now say what I want to say. I'm an American. Land of the free.
Or is the network just telling us that they don't classify what went down in Nigeria as domestic abuse because Michael's a man? Obviously, this is going to be a very triggering video because we're going to be talking about a lot of loaded subjects, such as gender inequality, because y'all know damn well if Angela was a man and Michael was a woman, she would already be fired from the network, but she's not. If you're like me, you've been watching the show for a number of years and you're quite confused why the network is sticking their neck out for someone like Angela Deem, who of course is Mother of the Year for raising a child predator and also has an extensive criminal record herself. If you're like me, you've been getting countless migraines from watching their segment, and oftentimes you find yourself skipping over their segment because Angela has set a false narrative since the beginning of this season of Happily Ever After. She also treats her husband like a slave and expects to be treated like a queen in return.
Thank God you didn't have one of these last night.
I did what I did, but he brought that drama out of me, man.
What? No, he didn't. He wasn't even home. Y'all were banging on his door like a bunch of savages, destroying his car. And then once poor Michael finally showed up with a couple family members, he might as well have been wearing red because Angela charged him like a bull, put her hands on him, and he did nothing to deserve that kind of response. That night when Angela Deem destroyed Michael's car and physically attacked him, he had every right to defend himself, but he didn't. He actually conducted himself like a gentleman and told her to stop and please leave the compound. She drives back to the hotel. She has an entire night of reflecting on her words and actions the previous night, and her stance on the matter still hasn't changed.
I'm not condoning the behavior, but I'm also accepting it because at the time of the moment, I know where Angela was emotionally.
This fake friend Renee also falls under the classification of weird girl because when Angela was assaulting Michael, she was practically cheering her on. It's obvious to the audience that this girl Renee is not really Angela's friend. She's just a girl feeding her ego so that she can also be on TV.
You know what upset me too? When you knocked on the door, he should have just came outside and it would have been over right then and you wouldn't have been pissed.
For sure, she's setting a false narrative too. There's no way this girl's being dead ass because it's obvious that Michael wasn't home, which is why he approached them from the side of the house later. It's actually infuriating to watch their segment anymore because these two girls have lied to fit their narrative this entire season. And while we're on the topic, isn't it ironic that Angela is such a diehard Trump fan, but she's the leading contributor to fake news? Before we continue reviewing this cringe couple on the show, I'd like to tell you about today's video sponsor, Factor. Factor makes meeting your nutritional goals easier than ever by delivering fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals right to your door. Factor offers keto, calorie-smart, chef's choice, and vegan plus veggie options, which include seafood, meat, and plant-based meals. When ordering from Factor, you might as well call yourself Jack Harlow because you got options. See what I did there? Factor cuts out stressful meal planning and extensive prepping, so meals come together in minutes. For me, finding ingredients in the grocery store is a chore because I don't know where anything is, and oftentimes I will get an excess of ingredients that I don't end up using, and it creates a food monster in my fridge. With Factor, you're gonna take the guesswork out of what to prepare for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that time that you're spending thinking about what to make can go towards work or other things that are more productive. I love that the Factor meals come prepared and ready to eat in only 2 minutes, and that's faster than ordering takeout and less expensive. I also really like how flexible Factor is. I can easily adjust my order size, enjoy with loved ones, or skip a meal if I decide to travel that week. With Factor, I'm able to schedule my meals ahead of time so I can use my time more productively, like making more videos for my Yourwetsock community. If y'all are interested in getting started with Factor, go to go.factor75.com/YourWetsock60 and use code YourWetsock60 to save 60% off your first Factor box. 60% off is a great deal, so big thanks again to them for sponsoring the Yourwetsock community. Now let's go back to our featured program. Angela then turns and says to her equally dumb friend, "There's no sorries no more. Michael's cocky. Did you see how he loved the car more than he loved me?" Or are you referring to when he didn't even know that you were going to show up to Nigeria? He comes back to his house after spending time with his family and finds you destroying his car, and then you lunge at him and attack him as soon as you guys make eye contact? Where are the Nigerian police department? That's destruction of property and assault. If anything, they should be in jail. I'm not surprised they're trying to spin the situation, even though we witnessed firsthand what happened. These two clowns have tried to paint Michael as a scammer and a user this entire season. And their tactics are so half-assed because essentially all they do is just keep doubling down on their point that everyone knows to not be true. It's no different than when Ed just tried to convince Liz she was a lesbian by saying it multiple times. Next thing you know, Angela's friend Renee talks her into setting up a meeting with Michael. Michael so that her and Angela can get more TV time. Angela tells Michael to meet her at a bar, and when she shows up, she brings a lot of white trash attitude. She orders 4 shots, right away downs them, and starts cussing him out.
You know the you and I, Michael? I have a heart. I'm a bitch. I'll goddamn minute. I wheel. John is hand on this mother purse. Breaking. Nah, bitch.
Angela Deem's one of those hellpit abominations that shouldn't drink alcohol because she obviously has anger management problems. As soon as Angela and Michael start talking, she demands to see his phone.
You got pictures in your phone. You're
No
scared.
bitches, stop it.
Let me see. I want to see everything.
I'm the off-brand granny version of Honey Boo Boo. Let me see your phone, Michael.
She even says while towering over him, "If you think you're gonna keep that Instagram, you got the wrong bitch, man." As this monstrosity is saying this to Michael, she is banging on the umbrella, which doesn't surprise me because she will often resort to intimidation tactics when she feels like she's not getting her way. If we open up our history book on this inbred hillbilly, we will see that she's very quick to threaten not only her husband with physical violence, but other people. Despite the disrespect that this thing is spewing at Michael, Michael meets it head on with patience and says, "Why don't you sit down and we can talk about this in a calm manner?" And when he says this, Angela responds with, "That's just an appetizer, motherfucker." Awkward, right? This girl's so comfortable embarrassing this man in public for no reason. Like, this was just such an unwarranted response. This girl's idea of entertaining the audience is to act like a complete piece of shit, and it's just funny to watch because she will eventually die and she will just be remembered as a piece of trash. Michael says to the audience, "Angela told me she wants to talk, but Angela doesn't listen. It's always about her. Make her happy and do things her way." I and just about the entire audience agrees with Michael because Angela wants him to delete his Instagram because she's afraid of him potentially flirting with women on Instagram, yet she can make videos with a guy that she's actually trying to fuck in Canada, and she's already professed that she wants to have sex with that guy on the show. What about how Angela made Michael become financially reliant on her and has communicated to the audience that she doesn't have money to give to him anymore because she has to give that money to her grandchildren? Yet she's got veneers, she's got so many different cosmetic surgeries. It seems like she has no problem spending that money that she's made on the show with Michael on solely herself. Throughout Angela and Michael's relationship, she has placed a lot of ultimatums on this man, one of which is that he's not allowed to work in Nigeria because she's afraid of him potentially having female co-workers or flirting with women at work. Angela and Michael have both been on numerous seasons of the show 90 Day Fiancé. However, Angela is the gatekeeper of all the funds because the foreigners don't get paid for their time and the Americans do. She made Michael financially reliant on her so she can control this man. In addition to hanging the green card over his head, she's hanging money as well. Before going on this present season of Happily Ever After, she stopped sending Michael money, and Michael didn't even have enough money to go out on his birthday. When he called her and asked her to send more money so that he can go out and be able to do things with his friends and family and have enough money to live his life in Nigeria, she cussed him out. Now she talked like this with her veneers, and every time Michael called, she said, "Look at what he's trying to do right now to me right now. He's trying to scam me, y'all. He's asking for money. He just wants to use me for a green card money. You believe it hurt me like this?" It's actually tilting to watch their segment on the show. Between that and League of Legends, I'm actually losing my mind. Funny too to watch Angela spend money that she owes to Michael on her plastic surgery because, to be honest with you, like, you could spend as much money as you want, you'll never be beautiful. It's always the ugliest people that care most about their appearance.
You want some?
No, God!
Come on. It don't take a genius. Nobody's protected their phone unless you got something to hide.
Oh yeah, you want to see Michael's phone? Bet. Let's pull up your phone. I want to see your conversation with Billy. She's planning on visiting Billy in Canada because she wants his balls in her jaw.
What do you think about me coming to Canada?
I would love to see you come to Canada.
Really?
I saw a couple comments saying that Michael was sus for not giving her his phone. You guys are absolutely trolling. She already flew to Nigeria unannounced, destroyed his car, and attacked him. What do you think she's gonna do with his phone? What's to prevent this girl from just taking his phone and smashing it? Overall, Angela's bad vibes and she's a bad luck for our country. I feel like the majority of citizens of our nation would rather have Michael in this country than Angela.
I'm tired.
You want to talk about tired? The entire audience of this show is tired of seeing this girl on the show. No one wanted to see her on this season of Happily Ever After. Also, is anyone else surprised that Michael didn't ask to see Angela's phone? I'm all about equality. Why don't they trade phones? After Angela out Michael for the millionth time, she says to the audience, "I'm tired of being strong. I'm tired of not showing my emotion." We But how is she tired of not showing her emotions when all she does is throw uncontrollable emotional tantrums? Angela has worse emotional self-regulation skills than a toddler. Next thing you know, in typical Angela fashion, she walks outside the bar and tries to paint herself as the victim to the audience and the camera crew. I got no money for you, Michael, because I deserve to spend all the money we made together on cosmetic surgeries and veneers just for myself. Look at my new teeth. Once again, this garbage can is trying to paint Michael in a bad light and convince the audience and the camera crew that it's all his fault that they're fighting. Michael walks out of the bar, walks up to Angela and says that he wants to talk.
You know I love you.
No, I don't know you love me. What did you think was going to happen when you put an Instagram out? Tell me.
Her fuse is so short. Michael's demeanor is calming while hers is... It was just Halloween. I didn't see anybody go as Angela, but what a scary costume that would be. She must save money because she doesn't even need to dress up for Halloween. Michael once again communicates to Angela that he wants to use his social media, specifically his Instagram, to get brand deals and make money so that he can support his family, and she just flat out says no.
That's all I'm trying to do, you know? Have an income, make money, yeah? Huh?
I said no.
Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this, but I find it appalling that not only Angela, but TLC is profiting off their segment and Michael isn't seeing a nickel. Seems ass backwards that this sicko is allowed to have a social media career and make money for herself and her family, but Michael isn't. This right here should not be on the show. Most of us watch the show to relax and watch dumb things like Danielle saying, "You're a user, Muhammad, you use me," or Paul running into the woods. Like, we want to watch dumb reality TV drama. We don't want to watch outright abuse. You're like me and you see a scene like this, it makes you not want to watch the show anymore and just change the channel to Love is Blind Season 3. After going through all this abuse from Angela, even if Michael is just sticking it out for the green card, he deserves it. He's also entitled to the Millennium Falcon, Minas Tirith, whatever else I can think of. Honestly, I have no idea why Michael's still in this relationship. Even if he's just sticking it out to get the green card, it's not worth it to come to America and be trapped in the woods in Georgia with Angela. Like, that's just a crime scene waiting to happen. Angela says to the audience, he doesn't need to make money off social media because realistically, how much money is he gonna make? You gotta be, I don't know how to say this without being rude, interesting. I have zero doubt in my mind that if they made a spin-off show, Single Life the Other Way, put Michael on there with his friends going around Nigeria dating Nigerian girls, majority of people would watch that show, and more people would watch that show than Michael and Angela on this season of Happily Ever After. This right here should be the cast for Single Life the Other Way. Are you ready for it? Michael, Azan, Muhammad, Aladdin, Jimena, Karini, and Jihoon. Angela goes on to say, Michael blocked me on Instagram, so maybe his plan to make money is a cover-up. Counter argument though, what kind of up shit do you think this girl was messaging Michael on Instagram? She's already been caught physically, verbally, and emotionally abusing this man. What do you think happens off camera?
You either put Instagram down because you want to, because you love me, and it's hurting me.
Of course I do love you.
All right, but that doesn't even make sense though. And if she really wanted to compromise with this man, they would both delete their Instagrams. Angela's Instagram is fake news because she has over 800,000 followers, but she only gets around 500 likes per photo. So I'm willing to bet that the majority of her followers are bots. I tried to look at Michael's Instagram the other day, but she made him delete his Instagram, yet she can still have her Instagram up, and she posts videos of her openly flirting with the Billy guy and whatever other guy she's trying to sleep with. So it's just ironic to me that she's trying to paint Michael as untrustworthy and unfaithful, but she's the one that embodies all those qualities.
Sorry, I forgot to call you last night.
I was worried about you because when you left, you were in such a frenzy about Michael.
Speaking of Michael...
Ew, Michael, I'm subtracting points for you giving in and piping the Wicked Witch of the Waste. After all the disrespect she's thrown your way, are you serious? And for Angela, how funny is it that she put her friend on the spot like that? Her friend was 100% gearing up to talk shit about Michael, and then she saw him and she was like, ooh.
Told me he was going to take his Instagram down today, which gave me hope that he wasn't frauding me and wouldn't be an opportunist.
So having an Instagram means that you're a fraud and an opportunist. So every guy is a fraud and an opportunist, because I think the majority of guys have an Instagram. Plus Angela herself has an Instagram. So is she just outing herself as a fraud and an opportunist? You know who else has an Instagram? Billy, and that doesn't stop Angela from treating him better than she treats her husband.
I miss my wife so much, and guess who got lucky last night? Myself.
If a girl assaults you in every which way but loose, why would you want to give her the 5 seconds of fury, Michael? Hold your head up high and jerk off in the sink. Be a man. I guess last night what happened was Angela left him at the restaurant. He followed her back to the hotel. They started talking, and Michael felt like he had to compromise in order for Angela to listen to him and treat him like a human being. So he told Angela that he will delete his Instagram. And would you believe it? The minute that Michael promised Angela to delete his Instagram, she started treating him like a human being. She started laughing, smiling, and then they had sex. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. I'm disappointed in Michael to lie to Angela in order to get in her pants. It's definitely not worth. Michael deleting his Instagram is a one-sided compromise that he shouldn't have to make, but he lied to her, and that's something that is a bitch move, to promise you're gonna do something and then go back on your word later. We've already seen Angela Deem throw violent emotional tantrums throughout the season, so I assume that she's not gonna take the news well.
You knew exactly what you were doing for you to me.
Yo, in this girl's speech, it seems painful as fuck, right? Like, when is she gonna stop smoking? When she's got the throw microphone? She goes back to the hotel, Michael chases after her, he tries to work it out. She's yelling at him, he's calmly trying to explain himself and why he lied to her because she's an irrational human being. Do you believe a man like this, act like this, and now I gotta play the victim even though I'm the one that cheated and made him financially reliant on me?
Why can't you let your Instagram go and find something else to put your foot down on so you can save your marriage?
Terrible advice on the biased friend Renee. She's saying that Michael needs to delete his Instagram, but Angela could keep hers up when she's been flirting with multiple men on Instagram. Angela then joins them outside and once again gets in Michael's face.
Don't you goddamn lie to me in my face.
Angie, calm
What
down.
did you say, you lying bastard?
Not surprisingly, Angela and Renee once again gang up on Michael and make him feel like he's the only person at fault in this relationship.
This son of a in his heart, he knows what he's done is wrong.
I understand that Michael went back on his word regarding taking down the Instagram, but they don't take into account all the times that Angela has gone back on her word in this relationship.
I lied and I apologize. But listen to me for once. We need to talk this thing.
You ain't got no morals.
In Michael and Angela's abusive relationship, let's call it what it is, right? She demands complete obedience from him. Meanwhile, she doesn't respect him or their marriage.
Shut up, Michael. I'm gonna kick you in that goddamn pool.
Angela's peace of mind shouldn't be dependent on her control over Michael. To be honest, I'm assuming that the majority of people just skip Angela and Michael's segment because it's getting very repetitive, especially because all the things that Angela is trying to reach for and accuse Michael of are things that she also does to him, if not worse.
How about
What?
you duetting this guy Billy or whatever his name?
Oh, okay, we're going there. I was trying to get your attention because you weren't telling me you loved me. You wasn't being on the phone with me. How about that?
Something that bothers me about this show is that TLC has this very limiting belief that they have to have the most outrageous characters on the show for us to watch, and it's not true. Love is Blind is 20 times better than this show, and they don't have one piece of trash human being on that show like Angela Deem. Barstool sucks for sure, but he's like an angel compared to Angela. And while we're on the topic, what about Nancy shielding Barstool constantly when he did her so dirty on their wedding day? Not to mention during the season when they had that very loaded conversation about abortion, and then he walked her into that conversation with his parents when he already knew their stance on the matter. So sus, Mr. I'm only attracted to girls that look like my sister. Can't wait to make reviews on the channel, so be on the lookout for those. I'm gonna drag just about everybody except for SK because honestly that dude's impressive. He has to be the most emotionally intelligent person I've seen on a reality TV show. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Comment below, subscribe, love you, friend, follow me on Twitch and on Instagram right now.